What's up, team? Justin here at Ivy League Trading. Let me turn down this TV real quick so you guys can hear me. Huge live stream tonight. I tried to put it on Twitter. If you don't know, you can follow me at Ivy League Trades, twitter.com, or Ivy League Trading, twitter.com, whichever one comes up. I have a huge, powerful live stream in store for you. If you could, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We gonna get busy because we got a lot of stuff that's getting ready to come out the rest of this week. I thought I turned down the volume, so I do apologize. But we have some upcoming events that are really going to start making this market move again, right? This market's wore out, guys. We have just, you can only ask so much for the movements, for these type of movements that we've had, right? It's just been one thing after another, after another, after another. And this thing is just rinsed, right? Rinsed and just drained, and it's just, bleh, I'm done, I'm tired. Like me today, right? With my cat, who's sleeping right now, by the way. So I'm probably going to hide. I'm going to freaking hide so I can sleep. Because tomorrow and the rest of the week, I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I got a lot of stuff I want to do tonight. As far as work, like getting a lot of stuff done. So again, thank you guys for joining us. I got a huge stream in store for you guys tonight. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. That's all we ask for. We put out a lot of great content for you guys. If you're new here, type your questions below, your tickers, ask questions about me, anything. Fill that comment section up. I read the comments. I get back to the questions that are asked. So, what happened in the markets today? Well, we had somewhat of a slow day, and I said this morning that I felt as though that would not surprise me at all, right? So it was a good day to be tired, right? It was a good day for me to I got a free pass, right? I got a free pass. I got a position that's on right now. Let me see here. 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 Here. Boop, boop. All right, let's do this, guys. All right, so, yes, thank you, Ray. Hit that like button, guys. Seriously. So, 2-year treasuries pulled back just a bit today, right? They had a bit of a pullback, but they're still the yield curve is still letting you know, hey, bro, this ain't done with. Right? We could still go higher for longer. In case y'all forgot, higher for longer. US 10-year. US 10Y is the ticker symbol. Pulled it back, right? That's going to help us out a little bit. But it only pulled back so much. And look at this RSI. Let me, matter of fact, go to the daily because that's really what's going to matter. Not that the 4-hour doesn't matter. Yeah, so we're still a little high. But here's the thing that I'm afraid of is if we just sit here and consolidate, that RSI is going to get pulled down. That's going to start bringing in more buy triggers, right? Bang. Another rip, right? Now, a lot of people are saying that because the yield curve inversion is starting to uninvert, that's good. It's all of a sudden a good thing. No, it's not, right? Usually, at least in the past, if you went back and looked at where things were at what different times from 2008, 2020, 2000s, in the 80s, the 90s, whatever, 70s, you will notice that the yield curve at times was already uninverted and the recession started while it was already uninverted. So things aren't, nobody's out of the woods, right? And we're also not out of the woods for, I don't know, quote unquote, soft landing, whatever that is. What is the definition of a soft landing, right? Is it the same definition as transitory? So, it's all on who you ask. It's all on, I don't even know. Because, okay, this morning on CNBC, you had somebody come on. I forget his name. He was a Fed member, I suppose. But they were kind of hitting that higher for longer. But when I listen to actual Fed members, they want to bring this yield. They want to be able to bring rates down, right? They want to be able to, but they need this labor market to soften. The thing is with the labor market, though, is Christine Lagarde said this best. Christine Lagarde is chair of European Central Bank, right? She is Europe's Jerome Powell. She said we live in a new time, right? maybe that calls for new measures, right? I mean, because someone can easily, whoever has a phone in a vehicle can pick up the phone and do Lyft and Uber. Whoever has a home can do Airbnb. There's supplemental income all over the place, right? Whether you've picked up a new skill, whether you've, you can build websites. Maybe you're building a website for a restaurant on the side, and maybe you're in the markets, and maybe you're doing this. There's just all types of different ways. The thing is this is my generation, our generation has found ways because it's been made so hard. We feel like to be able to have a the decent thing that just what should be basic things in life, like a house, and also not struggling and worried that if you miss one payment, you're fudged, you're behind, right? Because you're only making 50, $60,000 a year, right? You get this massive inflation. It's like you get a couple steps ahead, bang, the government does this. And inflation is tied directly to government spending. It is government lending, really, right? Because they're being lent this money from where? From other countries, and they back that up with debt, as in treasury bonds, which is interest payments to the countries that allow them to do what they did. This was said best by an individual back in the 70s or 80s, that inflation is one of the worst things that you could have happen to an economy because it feeds upon itself, and to get out of it, it's not what you want. Well, what did we have? We had massive spending. Now we're starting to have inflation, but things are starting to look, if you're thinking about buying a home, more power to you. More power to you, right? I would sure worry about the valuation that you are going to pay for it, depending on where you're at. I know somebody who just was putting in a bid for a home, and I got to think to myself, I'm like, you're crazy. What's funny is I just went through my phone and I had pictures of homes that I was looking at, right? From about a year ago, 2 years. Well, it was like 2019, right? 2019, 2020. And I'm talking early, before this inflation shit started. Well, I'm looking at prices of the homes and the acres that they're on, and I'm like, what? We went from that to where we are now? Are you crazy? Are you crazy for stepping up and paying that type of valuation on a home that you may have to worry about fixing later on down the road? I wish you the best of luck. I really do. I wish you the best of luck that you're able to do what it is that you want to do. Right? Maybe you won't. Maybe it's a good choice. Maybe you find out later it wasn't the best of the choices, because the person that I know doesn't have to buy a home right now, just wants to. That's fine. More power to them. Respect the hell out of them for it. That's fine. I just feel like we're on the cusp of a little more time, not long, and you may be able to help yourself out by not spending as much money as you're going to pay. Because what it is right now is you have homes that are just soared, right? You're talking, I don't know what the percentage would be. They got to be up 60 to 80, if not some places 150%, right? You're nearly paying double. Nearly. Again, don't, let's just say the average home price here was around 280, right? That's from high to low. We'll say 280. You're going to be paying, if not close to 400,000 now, right? You're going to be paying, if not close to $500,000. That's insane. Like some of these homes I was looking at, I had the majority of the cash, and they were only, I don't know, some of the homes that I were looking at, there was a couple that were in there. It was, there was a duplex for 300,000, right? Little needed some work, but it was a duplex with pretty much two homes on it, right? And they were asking 300,000. Now, obviously, that's just asking that they listed on there. And I can't remember if that particular one was before inflation or during, or it was like as prices were rising and they were asking a lot. But I think with the fact that you have rates where they're at now, you're having prices still not coming down. There's going to be this, but like if sellers really would, that's the problem too, is that sellers may not want to sell, and it's like, okay, well, if you want to give me this amount, I will sell it. because you're going to have to pay me to put me into another higher interest rate when whether the home is paid off, whether they don't want to get back into a home at a higher rate when they just refinanced and got it and they're in at 2.5, or I'm sorry, like 3.5%. Why would they want to jump into like a 8%, 7.5%, right? Depending on not just credit, but more so the amount of the home. The amount of the home, if you're buying a more expensive home, can actually bring your interest rate down a little bit because of that margin there, right? The margin for the price of that home, for the spread for the bank and all the other, pretty much for the bank, you're able to get a little bit of a cheaper interest rate because you're paying a higher price, and they're making that spread. They're making that dollar amount that they're looking to make that quarter for that year, whatever. So that's another thing people don't think about, right? So it's crazy out there, right? And these rates just continue to go. What happens to the housing supply, right? Do houses just stay off the market because rates are so high, and they just continue to charge? Like, what? How does this play out? I'm really curious, right? So again, let me go back on track. The Fed wants to get this in. They want to get the labor market softened, right? They want this labor market to soften because that's the only way they're going to be able to get a handle on demand, right? That's the only way. That's the only way they're going to get their hands on this demand factor. And I mean, honestly, if they've kind of like stopped where they're at, and their goal, because the Fed's not worried about bringing prices down, unfortunately, as sad as that is, they're not worried about bringing prices down. They're worried about stopping it from continuing at that rate of change, which is inflation. The definition is rate of change, of prices going up. I'm really curious why. Is anybody else having trouble with Twitter at all? Because I was having a little trouble trying to post a post, right? I was having a little trouble trying to post a post. I'm not even going to worry about it. It is what it is. So let's run through the markets. I have a lot of cool things for you guys today. So we have JOLTS job openings tomorrow. All right. S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. All right. We're getting a lot of housing data. That's going to play right in hand with the real estate market. I mean, you can play, what is it, HBX, XHB, whatever it is. I have it written down. If you want to comment down below, I will help you with it. And then we come into Wednesday, right? That's what I said Sunday night. If you didn't join us last night, I said Wednesday and Thursday and Friday is really going to be the days that the market moves. So I made a couple plays today, really just one. But I want to go into a lesson real quick, right? How long have we been going for? Hopefully not too long. So I want to go to a lesson with you guys. All right, 15 minutes. Cool. I'm going to go into a lesson. All right. I need you, or I don't need you. You need yourself to do this, right? So if you haven't done so already, again, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. So I want you guys to start. I'm not telling you what to do. This is not financial advice. You do what you want, right? But how are you going to maximize, your ability and your results out of this game, right? How do you maximize the results? That's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to get better. All this, all that, and the third, and the fourth. So, what I want to say is, so when I come into that, what do I mean by this, right? So when I come into if I'm done a trading day, I'll go over my trades. I'll do a couple different things. You need to picture yourself like you're at a hedge fund, a prop desk, whatever, right? How did you perform that day versus everyone else, right? Day to day doesn't matter, but week by week, maybe quarter by quarter, it does matter, right? Because how do you maximize your performance? Well, it starts right here. 90% of this game is mental. It is mental, all right? And you have to have the want, the will, the grit, the dog in you to be the best you can be at this or at anything. This is relatable to anything in life, right? Some people are not willing to put in the time, the work that that it takes to be good at something, to be better than everyone else at something. When I grew up, fun fact, when I was growing up, I was at least in my area and then where I went to school, I was the best skateboarder there was. Why? Because I eat, sleep, and breathed it, but I pushed and I had that I just had it in me that other people didn't have. The waking up early, doing it all day long, right? Going to bed, editing videos, right? Different things like it was just, and that's just the personality that I have too, right? Some people have it, some people don't, right? If you're good at something, you know, are you good at something? Are you up at the top tier, the best? You know, are you that top tier, right? Top shelf. That's what I wanted to say. Are you top shelf? Are you that bottle that's sitting up on top shelf, right? Because you've went through the struggle. You've paid your dues, right? You've paid your dues. You've put in the time. You've put in the work. You eat, sleep, and breathe whatever it is that you're doing that you want to be good at. In this case, we're talking about markets, right? Because at the end of the day, we have one job, and remember that one job is to take that number that you come into in the morning and make that number bigger. It doesn't matter how you do it. You have a million different ways to do it, but all you need to do is do it. You need to make that number bigger, not smaller. Right? That's it. That's it. Sounds easy, right? Oh, let me just sell spreads to the top side and I'll sell some calls and puts both ways, right? You could, right? You could just sit there and do it every day. You really could. You would just there are things you're going to need to know to be able to do that, right? That's what this channel is for, is to help you know some of the things you need to know before you do that so you don't get your ass kicked. All right? There's a lot of important things that you need to know. So, a member today brought up a really good. This is where this is coming from too. It's not coming from this comment that this member left, but this member said, I left a lot on the table, like this mindset of coming from, I should have did this, I should have done that. No, I posted a video a while ago talking about that, because we are coming from a place where we are already in the future, where you didn't know, right? Who's to say there wouldn't have been a headline that come across the TV, or that came across the squawk box and the wire, that it was just bad news and you didn't take profit, right? Now you're saying to yourself, damn it, why didn't I take profit? Start congratulating yourself. Take those small wins and those small good decisions, I guess you could say, and start acknowledging them. Don't say, I should have done this. Oh, I should have held it and went hard. But no, no. You made money, or you locked in your profit by managing your risk. Like, I just, from now on, like, and if I do it, shut me down, please, because I don't want to do it. That's not what we do here. We talk about what happens now, not what happened in the future, but we're living in the past because we think that we could have predicted the future. No. Here's the thing. Today, this week, so far, there's not many setups. So this is let me paint the picture for you. So this individual says, I got 40%, I took profits, I should have left it, I should have let it go, I could have had more, whatever. I'm like, no, you did your job. Number one, you did your job. Two, you just said it yourself. You didn't see much. There wasn't really anything to be had. That's why the markets were also slow today. There were really no setups. And it was hard to do a live stream last night because there weren't really any setups. There will be coming into the week. We'll get some movement because we'll get data. If it's not a technical catalyst, it's news or data driven, right? I always try to help teach you, not teach you, but help you guys remember that if it's not a technical setup, what's the catalyst? Is it a news? Is it, is it data? Is it news? What is it? There's a reason why the markets move. If there is no reason to move, the markets aren't going to move. So anyway, locked in 40% on a day where there weren't hardly any setups. No, we need to applaud that, right? That's you did your job, right? You made something out of nothing. So start taking those small victories serious, right? And also, on top of that, I want you guys, let me go back to what I'm saying is like by putting your mind in a place of standard, right? I want you guys to start setting standards for yourself. The standard of being, if there is no reason for me to be in this trade, if there is not a clear technical setup, if there is not a clear, if there's not any news, data, and there's no volume in this thing, what are you doing in it? You make money, good, that's great. Even if it's a little, pat yourself on the back. But raise your standard, right? Are you going back through the tape? Are you going back through your trade, seeing how you felt? Why did you make this decision, right? That's going to allow you to notice things that had happened in the past, right? That you took your decision. You're going to see your decision making from the things that you had at that time, and you're going to be able to see why you did what you did, or where is it that you're messing up. Why are you losing more than when you make when you're right? Why are you doing that? Right? Let's figure this out. You need to raise the standard, because that is the work that is put in to be able to bring the results that could be truly brought out of this game. You have to do it. You can't get lazy about it, right? You have to know delta, gamma. You have to know how options work. If you're going to play options, you really need to know, right? You need to know where your stock, in accordance to what the delta is, where you think the stock's going to go. How many options should you buy, right? That's the work you need to do, but raise the standard. All right. Again, just like football, just like any other sport, any other professional athlete, what do? They watch film, they watch tape. Because watching charts and watching, because I can go right here and go to demand, right? And I can let this whole thing play out, right? I say, okay, right? I could go to a 5-minute chart, and guess what? This thing will play out a 5-minute chart of today, right? It'll play out a 5-minute chart of today. Will it do it with this? It'll do it with this. It's doing it now. It's trying to do it now. So that's something I can do. I can say, okay, and then I can pause it and say, okay, this is where I got long. Let me pause it. All right, let me pause it. Is that this? Come on. Right? So I can go, but even if you don't have something like this, right, where you can go back over the day and really see what happened and what took place, you can go back through the chart and say, why did I get long here? What did I see at that time that made me say I want to go long? Or did you just go long for the shit of it? Right? Why were you short? Okay? These are the things we need to start going over. It is important. It's a lot right now because of, doing the live and everything, but there's tools out there, and just going back over your trades. Just going back over your trades. You have to. And coming up with your identity. If you don't have an identity, how do you know what you're going to be good at? How do you know you're going to be good at spreads? Right? How do you know you're going to be good at options? What if you're better at just buying the stock outright? What if you're good at small caps? Right? What if you're good at buying small caps, stocks that are $5 and below, and run on news or no news, and you're better at shorting or going long them than you are playing options on a large cap? Right? Are you going through saying, I'm just playing break and retest, that's it? Well, good luck with that, especially when we get out of this environment. Good luck. Here's a break and retest. Did you go long? How'd that work out today? Right? How'd that work out? There's no volume today. We already knew this coming in. Did you take from something that I just randomly seen on YouTube clicked on it, and as I click on it, this person is saying we don't have much data this week. Please make sure you're getting your information from people that have been doing this for the time. It's not even about doing about the time. It's about having the education, right? It's about having the education that can prove to you that they know what the hell it is that they're doing and why it is that they're doing it. Dude, we had the biggest inflation data that the world has had this week. Why is the Fed doing what they're doing? Because of inflation. And guess what? You get inflation data this week all over the world. So yes, this is a huge week. To say that there's not much data, to say that, oh, the GDP, not knowing that it's from Q2, right? It's revised, right? We've already gotten GDP. So just things like that, right? Things like that. Knowing what the hell it is that you're talking about. Knowing when these consumer sentiment numbers coming out, knowing that if it's above 50 is expansion and below 50 is contraction. Right? Knowing yields, knowing real rate of return, knowing why someone would be down on bonds. Why are they down on bonds? Because the interest that it paid, right, doesn't make up for the loss on the ticket itself. Stuff like that, guys. So just make sure you're getting your information from people that deserve to be giving it to other people, right? That know what the hell it is that they're talking about and don't make an ass out of themselves. Right? Just because they sit here and day trade all day. Right? So let's raise the standard. Start getting to work. Because it's the only way you're going to get good at it. The only other way you're going to get good at it is if you ask questions in the comment section. Because I'm telling you right now, if you have a question, there's someone else sitting there watching this right now that has a question. Right? Do you measure your moves? Right? Do you have your targets and measure your moves to back up? Now you don't just have one reason to take profits there. You have two. Oh, this lines up 2, 3. Max on, or, put on as many reasons to make that decision. All right? Because, again, this is all an emotional game. And it's not even a game. There's real life, you're talking about going up against traders on Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, right? You have so many people that are out here ready to take your money. I'm one of them. I am your competition, believe it or not. The next person you watch is your competition. Be better than your competition. It's the only way you're going to make it. And that's the only way you're going to be the best at whatever it is that you want to be. You got to put in the work. Okay? And don't half-ass it. Don't just get bored and say, I don't feel like going over my trade. I lost money today, or I just won money. Why did you make money? Go back over it. There's going to be something that you may not have seen, or you just re-solidify the fact that I made this decision because of that. It was the right decision. And when I see this again, I know that I'm going to be even better off making the decision when I see this set up again. All right? It worked here. It's worked in the past. Chances are if it's worked 2, 3, 4 times, it'll probably work the 5th. All right? So what do we think the markets are going to do? I don't need you guys to do it. You need yourself to do it. You need yourself to go back over the work, really raise your standard of what it is that you do, and be a trained athlete at this. That's the only way you're going to get better. What do I see here? Look, I'm going to go back and say, man, I got a lot of sellers up here. We ever get back up to this 50-day moving average, I want to see exactly if those sellers are still there at that amount. What was the news that day? Right? What was going on that day? So I just want you guys to raise the standard. Start going over film. Start going over your trades. Right? You go through charts. Are you saving charts? Right? I've told you guys many times, on a down day, we get a gap up and we pull it back and hold the close or the low. I'm looking for a long. That's a playbook. Right? That's a playbook. I save charts. I save charts from Fed days. So when I see setups and patterns, it's going to be a lot easier for me than it is for you who doesn't have a list of the past 15 Fed meetings that have mattered, right? So when I start seeing things throughout the day, and I'm coming up with the reason, and you're like, man, wait, what? I don't think, we're going to go down. But I'm like, this person obviously doesn't know that I know this chart pattern. This has already been traded this way before. The sentiment's about the same. Things like that. You should have a list of if you find a good setup, save that freaking chart on your laptop or computer or whatever it is that you're using. Know it. right? Get to know that setup. Start coming up with playbooks, right? A playbook with Palo Alto. Palo Alto and those cybersecurity stocks need Microsoft and Apple, and just, they need those companies when Microsoft says that they're going to get into doing their own, that's going to obviously hurt them. What is that? That is a playbook of a bigger company eating another company's lunch, pretty much, right? A company needing another company for them to survive, and that company saying that they're going to actually start diving into that sector and doing it for themselves. That's a playbook right there. So if you see Nike, and you have Crocs, right? And you're saying, and Nike comes out and says, we're going to start making our own Crocs. Well, if Nike's one of the best brands, and Nike hires someone to have some Crocs after, what do you think that's going to do to Crocs? Right? Stuff like that. That is a playbook, right? That's a type of playbook. So that's why I made this channel, right? I don't get very many views, but hopefully, if you're seeing this, really listen to what it is that I'm saying. It's the only way you're going to be successful. If you don't take this seriously and you're in the markets, then what are you going to take seriously? All right, so we have a major level up here, right here, guys, and this is going to bring us to our 50 days to start dropping tomorrow, depending on where we open up. And yes, the little girl is still sleeping today. 443, 444 is the level, guys. This orange line, right? It was previously a double top. We found a little bit of support off of it, bounced, and quickly rejected off of that bounce and broke that level. We have came back and retested. You have not really retested it, but you retested the 50-day. Right? You retested the 50-day. You kind of went through it. And this is an engulfing candle, right? But we've taken 1-2 candles up, and we've already pretty much taken back over half of that move. More than half of it, damn near the whole candle. Right? We've already taken it back. So tomorrow, I want to see if we get a pullback into 441 and see if we can start getting long at 441. Right? Because I want to see us get back up and into that 50-day one more time. The markets are a bit oversold. We had hardly no volume today, as expected. Right? Let's see if we can start doing that. What's that going to allow us to do? That's going to allow us to have that weekly moving average, or the weekly RSI and MACD, start making a higher low as well, right? And that's going to give us that downside target. But if it doesn't, and we just continue to look for upside, if you don't join us right here on YouTube, Ivy League Trading. We trade live Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, guys, right here. All we ask is a like and a subscribe, and we actually trade. Members come up with great ideas, trade ideas and stuff, and we go through them. We come up with our plans depending on the news, small caps, mid caps, large caps, all of it. We trade it all, right? Futures, all of it. Crypto, all of it. Anything else I'm leaving out? Forex? Not Forex. I don't trade Forex. I mean, I could through the equity market, right? I could through the equity market, but I can trade it here on Thinkorswim as well, but I don't. I don't, for no reason in particular. So again, I want to see us pull it back. See if we can pull it back, get a hold on 441, and see if we can get a bounce back up to that 50-day, which is going to be up here around 444. Right? The thing is we tried to break above this level again, and we didn't hold. And I'm kind of curious what's that going to do to my position. So let's look at a couple things right here. So again, what do I tell you guys? I look at all of the indexes. All right, you got to look at all the indexes so you know what's going on. What's going up, what's not going up, what's leading, what's lagging. All right. Let's go to the Dow real quick. I'm going to make this a quick one tonight. The Dow clean bounce off of that 100-day. It got off of it pretty damn quickly. I wish the other markets moved that quick. Right? The SPY, the Qs, not so much. All right, they never got down to there, but all right, IWM. Hit that like button, by the way. Hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Ask questions, guys. I will get back to you. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, send me an email. It's in the link in the description. If you don't already do so, follow me on Twitter. Let's dive in and find out what it is, where it is that you're making the mistakes, guys. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I'm not here. My goal is to not drain you guys for money. That's not my goal. All right? Unlike these other businesses that live and die off of recurring revenue. All right, they live and die off of a recurring revenue. It's the type of business model that is used in these markets, and you guys need to know some of the things that do go on. Right? They you're continuously being charged and upcharged for certain things. And no, you do not need special tools. You don't. If you have the internet, you have access to CNBC. CNBC is going to give you the lowdown on what's going on, upgrades, downgrades, news of the day, right? That's where we want to be anyway. That's where the volume's going to be. So no, you do not need it. The only time it would be helpful for you to have it is if you're already profitable and you can dwindle down your taxes by, having some of those products, right? Also, it may even depend on your state. I'm not getting into all that because I don't know, but you may need your LLC for it. You may need to have have a business license for it. I don't know. Your state may be different. I don't know. So until you're profitable, don't worry about getting sucked into this and that and the third. You need to hone in what it is. If you're new, you need to be taught. I have. So, and that's the other thing, right? When you sign up to places, you don't keep these courses that you bought, right? And that's a shame because if you purchase an item, you should be able to keep it. It should be yours. It should be something that you could go back to and be able to look at because we will go off on our training. I know this because I do it. I've been doing this for a while. You'll trail off. You'll go for a month, 2 months, and you got to regroup, right? You got to go back to the basics, and you'll start noticing your P&L will get better, and you'll find 2-3 months later you're wandering off the path, right? You got to bring it back in from time to time, and you need to have stuff. You need to have something that you could go to just to refresh yourself, right? You may think you already know it, but having clear-cut game plans for managing risk, why are you doing what it is that you're doing, can really help you. Reaffirming why it is that you're doing it, knowing how to measure your moves, all that fun stuff. Give me 1 second. I'm going to be honest too. Let's talk. I'm going back into the markets, not down that road again. If you could, like, share, and subscribe. I think the Fed, if they continue to do what they're doing, they're going to go too far, and they think that they can just cut rates quickly, and that's just going to cure everything, right? Well, there's also a lag effect to cutting rates too, right? There's also a lag effect there. They need to give us time. They've done a lot. Matter of fact, they've done just about the most. They've done more than Paul. They haven't done more than Volcker, but they've done a lot. They've done more in the sense of in the time span. They've done more than 2 years than Paul Volcker did. All right. So let's remember that. So I'm on IWM. It closed green today. It's actually bounced off of its 100-day and 200-day. You had a 100-day cross above the 200-day. So what am I going to want to do? What are you taking out of this? I'm going to ask yourself right now. I'm going to show you this chart. Okay. Right? I'm showing you this, right? I'm showing you this. This red line is the 50-day, the blue line is the 100, and the turquoise is 200. You should, if you're a trader, you should already know. And then this green line is obviously the 20-day moving average. All right, so I'm showing you the SPY, right? I'm showing you the SPY. I'm showing you the Qs. All right, I'm showing you the Qs there. All right, you see the Qs? Now I'm going to ask you, how are you going to position yourself? Here's the Dow. There's the Dow. All right, there's the Dow. Here's the IWM. All right. You seeing anything, guys? You seeing anything? There's the IWM. All right, one more. There's ARK. All right. How would you position yourself going into the week? Where are you going to look for opportunity? I'm not going to give it to you. I just showed you all 5 of those. Go back and look at all 5, and you tell me where your opportunity lies. All right. I'm curious to know. I really am. I'm curious your thoughts. Comment down below your thoughts about those 5 indices that I just showed you, and tell me what would you be doing this week as of tomorrow. What would you be doing to make money out of just the 3 or 4 that I showed you, right? So here we are one more time. It's already 8 o'clock. I got to get this over with. Nice bounce today, right? We actually broke above the 50-day on the IBB, Biotechs. All right, we're above the 50-day. So I have a list of stocks that I'm looking at. I think the Fed's going to end up doing too much. Let's go into something real quick. Let's go see the overall markets, guys. Gold, I think, got hit today. Come on. All right, here we go. GDX, green. All right, GDX was green. We had a lot of things were green today, other than the your corporate bonds like your HYG, LQD, things of that things of that nature. Emerging markets, they weren't as green as everything else today. For the most part, it wasn't too bad of a day. Semis were up. We closed green. Right? So how would you use this information that I showed you with those 5 and looking at this? How would you position yourself? What would you be looking for? Where would you put yourself? Today, basic materials led the way. Right? This is the first day of the week. Basic materials, communication services, real estate, consumer cyclical, energy, industrials, technology, financials, consumer defensive, healthcare, and utilities were last. Right? And that's today. All right, so I know you're hungry. So 1 month relative performance, guys. Energy still leading the way. Everything else is red, right? On a 1 month relative performance. 1 week, we just started the week, so we can't really look at that. Today's the first day. So it should still be the same as 1 day for the 1 week. So I don't understand that, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in thinking that way? 3 month energy still leading. So using these things, you can see, hey, this is where I might want to be. Hold on, Turkey. I'm going to go feed you. All right, so let's go run through some charts real quick. I'll give you guys some trade ideas. Let's look at TLT real quick. How did old TLT do today? I'm actually looking for TLT to bounce and get up into that 50-day. So I'll probably be I'm going to save it for members in chat and members that like and subscribe to give them my thoughts and what it is that I think I'm going to start doing here. I may be starting. So here's HYG. HYG, it's just consolidating, right? This could be a sign of strength here with this consolidation. Look at the buying. Let me redo it. You also want to look at the weekly chart. You guys got to start looking at weekly charts and monthly charts. It's important. It's important because longer term institutions, that's what they use. Right? We're going to get a breakout one way or another. And it's looking to me like it could be to the buy side, obviously. And I think it's starting now. I really do, guys. I think it's starting now. Look at this. This is HYG. Look at that. You can look at it however you want, right? You could say it's still got a little more time. It may have a little more time. My sweetheart. She's so... She's so cute. She's so innocent, but I was so mad at her last night. So I'm going to be watching bonds, right? Debt leads bonds. Bonds lead equity. Remember it. All right. We're going to start getting some data tomorrow that should help move the markets. Not necessarily tomorrow, but more so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Not Wednesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's a failed break. That's a failed reverse head and shoulders there. All right, so I took a small position on Microsoft today. All right. Join us if you don't already know. We trade live Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, right here on YouTube. All right. So Microsoft, I went and grabbed calls. I was up on them today. I didn't take profit. This position size is it's small because I don't have much faith in it. I need to see tomorrow's price action, right? I need to see tomorrow's price action. I do. All right. I got this. I bought this. I got into this because my entry was right. I was able to get the entry that I wanted to be able to say, if I got this entry, I'll take it. There's also a couple more reasons why I took Microsoft to the long side. Again, that blue line's the 100-day. The red line is the 50-day. The green line's the 20-day moving average, right? And with the other charts I showed you, the other indexes, why would I take? Comment down below. Why do you think I took Microsoft? I'm really curious to see if you guys know why I took Microsoft today over like Apple, right? If we bring up Apple, Apple is doing the same thing. So why would I go with Microsoft? Right? Look, that's a failed breakdown. It pulled back. Apple pulled back to the 100-day moving average, tagged it as support, the 9 EMA as well. It's off to the races. Apple actually closed green today. Right? All right. So, Microsoft. If you guys have any tickers, we have CRM Wednesday, so we're going to have some plays. We're going to have some things that are coming up, which is going to make the week interesting. Today was kind of boring, just like the live stream last night. It was a little tough to do because there isn't much. We have NEO tomorrow morning. Remember NEO, guys. Let's go over NEO real quick because we do have NEO earnings right in the morning. That's also going to dive into Xpeng's news. So it looks like, man, if I got to be honest, guys, I feel like I'm really curious, man. And I want to talk about another stock as well. This could be putting in a reverse Head and Shoulders, guys. NEO might not do too bad tomorrow. I'm going to tell you right now, it might not do too bad. If the chart is any sign of how good or bad an earnings call is going to be, or an earnings is going to be, this one may not be too bad. I want to talk about VVS again real quick. I want to talk about VFS, I'm sorry. VFS. So we have NEO tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that. VFS. I'm going to look into gold real quick. VFS. We could. It's so crazy. We could get a little gamma squeeze going on. We could. Don't know if we're going to. There was options that were placed out on this. So there's a rumor going around that someone owns 80% of these shares. So if they don't sell, you have a ton of liquidity that's not there. And if shorts start to try and buy the stock back and there isn't any shares for them to buy back, start getting margin, like things could just get pretty crazy and you get some option buying. If word gets out on this thing, I'm telling you right now, the possibility is there, right? The possibility is there that if people start piling on this stock here, it's hard to say what it'll do, right? But I'm going to be looking at it both ways, right? If this thing isn't the talk of the town and it doesn't go higher, okay, I will be looking to short it. It's got a huge market cap right now. The volume was down today. We'll see what comes of tomorrow. Maybe people were just tired today, or Monday is just one of them days, right? So this is going to be on the watch, whether it's for a short or a long. I am not ruling out a gamma squeeze, short squeeze that could just rip face. I'm also not going to count out the fact that I could short this thing and bring it back down $20, $30, $40, $50, right? I'm not ruling either one of them out. And I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to be on this stock when it does decide to make that move. So if you don't know, this is VFS. This one's on the watch. So what I'm going to be doing, you have a hurricane again. You might want to watch Home Depot for when this thing starts to make landfall. Um, it's hurricane season right now. It held support today. Let me go to a daily chart first off, because this thing's been just stuck, right? It's just stuck in this longer term range from like 340 down to 300, 280, call it 290, 280, 280 to 330. No, I'm sorry, guys, 340 to 280. That's about the range. All right. I want to see. So right now it's pulling back into support, right? Home Depot is above its 50-day moving average, unlike a lot of the other names, right? Unlike a lot of the other names. Come on. All right, so I'm gonna be watching to see if we can get a bounce off of this level tomorrow. So, well, we've already bounced off of it. So here's the area I'm gonna look to be possibly short. If we get back up to tomorrow, if Home Depot gets back up to 326.50 and cannot close above 326.50, I will be looking to get some puts on this name. All right, if we put in an intraday double top, as you guys can see there. I found it hard to believe that it did all that work and could not close above it. But you never know, right? Tonight, this thing could just pull itself up, start holding 326.50, and then we're off to the races. Hurricane starts to make landfall. People need to buy wood, sandbags, all kinds of shit. Roofs, I mean, again, category 2, guys. If it's a category 2, that's 90-mile-an-hour winds. All right, it's not nothing to play with, right? It sounds like, oh, it's category 2. Yeah. You're going to have shingles missing. You're going to have, they don't really have siding from some of the homes. I'm sure some of them do, but so that's one thing I'll be watching for. In my little turkey butt. So I'm going to be watching Home Depot. Home Depot's on watch. All right. Tune in tomorrow morning. We trade live right here Monday through Friday. I don't know why. I talked like that once, and now it's stuck with me. You have a bit of a head and shoulders here. It's not too pretty, but it's there. Right? It's there on UNH. I'm going to be watching UNH. All right, it's a little head and shoulders. We reclaim this 491 area. 491 gets reclaimed. I will look for upside up to 498, 500. All right. So Apple, Microsoft. Let's go look at Nvidia today. Nvidia closed green. I'm pretty sure. Open, close, green. It closed green. Let me go to a 15-minute chart. I gotta get going out of here, guys. Looks like Nvidia's coming into resistance, right? I want to see if we can get Nvidia back down a bit, because I think you're gonna just start seeing people take profits. And if you look at a daily chart and a weekly chart, even, it's so oversold. If you don't lock some of that profit in here, I don't know. Maybe you deserve to lose money. I mean, you could say you're waiting 10 years or something, and, you never know what could happen. So I would just, that's the part of managing risk. You've had a great run in this type of environment, just be cautious. So you've bounced up into resistance. Nvidia does not get up above and hold 470. The likelihood of that happening is slim to none. I want to see if we can pull this thing back down to 445 and actually see if we can, I want to get back down to this 50-day at 442, 440, depending on where it's at the time. All right, that's Nvidia. Again, I want to get short up in this area this 470. If we cannot get above it, I will be short. AMD is another one. Nice bounce off of this prior support, right? This is what AMD's done. I didn't show you guys this last night, but look at this, right? Look at the patterns it's been putting in. Bounces up, pulls it back, finds support, pulls it up, right? pulls it back to where? Look, right there. Bang. Pulls it up, pulls it back. Where? Support. Pulls it up, pulls it back. Where? Support. All right, this is what, and then bang, the big extension. Now we've pulled it back. Are we going to hold this area right here? This is where we're at. Right here, right? Right there is right there. This is where we're at. Right there. Are we going to hold? We'll find out. We're going to find out very soon. Why? Because we have PCE numbers. This inflation data is going to help tell the markets and us whether the Fed has to continue to give us more rate hikes, or if they can just take a pause on the rate hikes and that it's coming down to their inflation target. Then we can officially look for them to start cutting rates. That's ultimately what the Fed would like to have happen. They continue to hike going into for what's the word I'm looking for an extended period of time. You're going to run into where the market's going to start pricing in the Fed's done too much. I gotta get off and I want to feed her. So that's AMD, guys. We'll go over the watch list in the morning, but we're starting to get some good setups for it. Some are coming into support, so maybe we'll start looking for a bounce. Do we get another retest of the 100-day? Reject it, because we have not turned the 100-day into resistance yet. I want to look for a bounce. The other thing, what do you have here? You have a low volume pullback. Yes, we closed red, but it was on low volume. That's good. That's a good sign for upside. All right. Doesn't solidify that we're good. We're going long. But, you know, just being in the markets for an extended period of time, of having an education, as a person who would be looking to the long side, I would be looking for low volume pullbacks and high volume breakouts. Ethan, you saying hi? All right, guys, that's about all I have. And Tesla also is on watch. It actually had some divergence last week that I was watching. If you notice, like the markets, it would close green and the markets would close red, but then it switched, or it was closing red, or it would open red. The markets would open green and it would close red. The markets would open green and then the markets closed red and Tesla closed green. So it had a bit of confluence there with the overall S&Ps. So Tesla's going to be on watch. See if we can get the charging up to, you know, it's tough, right? You have this area here. We pulled back off of it. If we can pull back and Tesla finds support at 238 or 239, I will see if we can get a bounce if 239 holds. This wasn't actually more of an increase in volume than I would have liked to have seen. All right, just being honest. The other ones that we looked at, they did not, the volume was not that big today on these pullbacks, right? So look there, right? It's actually was more than the buying that took place on Friday. That's important, guys. So that's Tesla. You can look at Meta and Google and stuff. Meta's pulled back, put in a slight double bottom. Maybe it's on its way to test this 50-day, right? It's on its way up to test the 50-day moving average, right? So you have a nice area of resistance here. What's a nice support? Support, boom, where's that? 289, 295, or 294.50, 294. Let me see here. Resistance. So we broke above it. So tomorrow from Meta, I want to see a pullback in the 289, and I want to get long if we hold that. I'm going to look to get long Meta 289, and I want to see if we can start working our way up to the 50-day. 289 Meta. Shit. Meta 289 long if holds. I'm getting you food, baby. All right, that's Meta, Google. Come on. And listen, markets have been lockstep with yield. So it doesn't matter what, the only way these things are going to hold support or break, hit resistance and break it, or whatever. Watch the 10-year. Watch your yields. Watch the dollar. That's what's going to give you your. That's going to help. At least that's what I'm doing. I'm using the dollar and rates to dictate what it is that I'm doing and when. Right? We had a slight pullback, but not really. We haven't even taken back any of what we did Friday. Right? So it wasn't much today. Look at that. You didn't even take back any of what you did Friday. It's not like we're pulling back. So let's hope this dollar can cool down a little bit, because if it doesn't, that's going to put pressure on gold. That's going to put pressure on equity markets. It's putting pressure on yields, right? So I appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys could take the time, hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. If you appreciate good solid work, hit that like button. All right. I love you all. You guys have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, ready to just slay the day away. I'm telling you right now, I will be setting myself up, and I've already started to. I've already started to set myself up to start, being able to benefit off of an up move or a down move. All right. Where are you going to want to be in the markets? You need to ask yourself that. You need to know. All right, especially if you're new. I don't think you guys understand doing what we talked about, right? What this could do for you, right? If you put in the work, you could seriously change your life. Like, do you want to change your life? I'm asking you. Do you want to? Okay, we'll put in the work. Start asking questions. My email's in the description. Hit that like button, subscribe. My email's in the description. Follow me on Twitter, Ivy League Trades, or Ivy League Trading, Twitter.com. That's about all I got. Join us in the morning. I'll go over the news. I'll go over what trades I'm looking at for the day. Small caps, mid caps, all that fun stuff. So have a great night, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Come on.